What is an immediate red flag to tell if someone is fake? If they just wanna know how much you make. 24 ounces of pee every time like clockwork. Do you pee on a scale? Do you not? They ask you so many personal questions, but when you ask them the same question they never want to reply. They're just fake, trying to learn everything about you so they can gossip and judge you with their other friends. Why would you ask such a adjective, hurtful thing? Fellow, entity, human? I watch how they interact with other people. Then compare it to how they interact with me. If they seem to change viewpoints or personality dramatically, they are fake. I also watch their eyes closely. If a person blinks horizontally, no conclusion can be reached. If, however, they blink vertically, then they are a lizard person. Sometimes people with incredibly low confidence, like myself, often say or act differently to fit in more or to not cause a scene. It is a bit fake, but in this case nothing bad is meant by it. They just be very shy or anxious. I would say even confident people act differently with different people. I sure as heck am not gonna be as comfortable and goofy with you if we just met like I am with my best friend. This is bad advice. Everybody has social masks. It's okay. The difference generally lies more in how willing they are to listen to others and try to be a good fit for the group versus how bullheaded they are presenting a persona. The fakest people basically never change their mask. And that's still a social anxiety thing. Almost everybody feels like an outsider. Almost everybody feels like everyone else knows what they're doing better than they do. It's okay. They talk about people to you behind their backs a lot. They'll do the same about you to other people. God, I've fallen into this trap more times than I'm ready to admit. This girl I used to know always had the dirt on everyone. But after a while I realized it was because she worked hard to get it out of everyone else. Like, I doubt anyone gave a flying flip about my SX life. But she tried so hard to pull answers from me. Even after I said I didn't want to tell. BH. The reason I don't want to tell you anything is cause you're the reason I know about your mom's weird kinks. The DO you found in your aunt's drawer. The 10 guys Becky FD last week. Etc. 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 Classic Becky. Their mustache falls off. Whenever the conversation is going somewhere and they direct it back to themselves. Always. I have a friend who does this. It is so annoying. We have been talking about you for almost an hour and I terraced street too and you are not one of them. Have you talked to them about it? TBH, some people just have trouble making conversation and find it easier when they're talking about themselves. Doesn't make them fake. Just really boring to talk to. Anytime someone even says, I'm real. He, she, they are fake or anything along those lines. That's the red flag. If they act nice or overly familiar with you, they're waiting for you to get your guard down around them so they can do whatever the HL they really want to do with you. Their laugh. 9 out of 10 times. You can tell if a person is genuine from their laughter. Just drop a few funny remarks or little jokes. And you are right to go. What if they don't laugh? I'm not a big laugher. I just smile. They try way too hard to relate to everything you talk about or somehow did the exact same thing but find a way to one-up you. Oh, I played that game. Except I did slightly better than what you did. Quote, I also participated in similar activities but something even sillier happened. Quote, they never let you get a word in. They just talk and boast about themselves endlessly. Commonplace actually for narcissistic people. They say they hate drama. I like hearing about other people's drama. I like hearing. Then you can be assured they love drama. Show them a cell phone. If they say, doesn't look like anything to me, then they are a host. You creeped me the FK out. I am watching Westworld right now and one guy just right this second said, it doesn't look like anything to me. When he saw a sketch of himself. Just when I read your comment. So creepy. The person's head starts to spin and he screams error error. The person looks like two kids in a trench coat. Fake people are pretty insidious. It can take a while to start seeing the cracks in their facade. But the dead giveaway I've noticed is being overly friendly without having any real interest in you. That's just my anxiety. Sheesh. I just dislike people who are AS for no good reason and want people to feel welcome. Preach. I ask myself sometimes, is it that hard to not be ADK? Quote. Some folks seem fine not giving AST about what anyone around them thinks of them. Meanwhile, I accidentally make eye contact with the guy next to me in traffic too long and I'm worried I screwed up their day. Just walk up to a car dealership and avoid people who remind you of the salesman from then on. If it looks too good to be true, then it is. They always have to one-up your stories. For many people, that's just them trying to relate. Person 1. Story about something that happened. Person 2. Story similar to what the first person said but more significant. Most aren't trying to one-up. Some are just trying to relate. I think this really has a lot to do with whether or not they bother to validate your opinion, feelings, or if they are simply just trying to out-victim the other person. This shows empathy. Person 2. You must be so upset. I had XYZ happen a few years ago. And I felt miserable. I'm sorry you're going through that. It sucks. This is one-upping and invalidating. Person 2. Yeah. Well, I had XYZ and Q happen. All in the same week. And now I don't know what I'm going to do. So be glad you're not me. I do this. So I feel qualified to comment. I'm not fake. I'm a bit competitive and your story just reminded me of something I am excited about sharing because it is relevant to the course of conversation. So it's a mix of trying to one-up, relate, and continue the conversational thread. And because I'm aware I do this, I do try to keep it under control. He or she never blinks. What if your blinks are synchronized? Thanks. Bye. I don't think I'm more fake than the average person, but I don't blink very much. And have won virtually every staring contest I've ever engaged in. I had a job interview prep session years ago with this well-off gentleman I knew through a friend. At the end he told me that I needed to blink more. From that day on, when I meet people I blink more to make them more comfortable. Also works. Slow blinks. On cats to make them more comfortable. I don't know why I don't blink more often, but I think it may be due to hypervigilance I learned in childhood from being hit randomly. They say they don't like pizza. Only aliens and reptilians would make such a terrible blunder. The Voight-Kampff test. Blade Runner. They tell you how real they are. I used to work with a woman in her DN40s who acted like she was 19. She justified this by saying to anyone and everyone as many times as she could. It's because she's real. She doesn't play games. She is her authentic self. Fakest person I've ever met in my life. Edit. Oops. I wrote pay instead of play. Fixed. Every person that's ever said that to me is always the worst, I swear. I just call a spade a spade. Quote. Said by a woman I knew who was the biggest BH ever. An immediate red flag? There isn't one. The only way to discern whether a person is fake is time. There are many people with insecurities and anxieties who may be pure of heart underneath their surface posturing or coldness. By the same token, there are many people with charisma, charm, and feigned care, who may stab you in the back at the first sign of real trouble. I take the stance of being a two-way valve. Remain capable of letting people in. But be capable of revoking that privilege if you later realize that you should not have done so. They say everyone else is fake. I asked my friend Broom and he says, if you can see the wires. I'm not sure it's a real answer though, because he seemed awfully pleased with himself and was running around in a circle waving his arms in the air for 5 minutes. Edit. Now with picture of broom. This is real and serious. Link. This reply has solidified my opinion that most people in this thread, particularly you, have gone stir crazy from self-isolation. I told Broom what you said and he stated laughing again. I'm worried about you. If they agree with all things you say. When I suspect that someone it's being fake with me, I start to say a bunch of dumb things. And then I see. Gotta be a little careful with this one. Older coworker, whom I love as a person, is very changeable like this. He'll believe different things depending on who he's talking to. I don't think he's fake. He's an entirely different problem. He's an instigator lol. Karen invited you to like her page on Facebook. When they laugh and their eyes don't reflect the same joy. To be fair, that can just be a sign of depression. They say the item that you are selling them is going to my brother as Africa. Quote. If you use my name over and over when talking to me, I assume you're up to something. I've worked in hotel management for 10 years, and just be genuine and tell me what you want. That's always made me uncomfortable. 2. I don't need you to say my name every other sentence. At my first job we were required to wear name tags. I would forget mine as often as possible. I was 16 at the time and looked younger. Older guys would hang around my station during the wee hours of the night and throw my name around like it meant something to them. It gave me the creeps. Big time. Sorry to hear that, CK Daddy Karen. Them. I really like X TV show. Me. I don't really like that show. Them. Yeah, totally, it sucks. Well, this could also be them trying to fit in. For me, it was the opposite. I don't like X TV show. What? No. You have to like it. We're going to watch it right now and you better watch it when you get home. Quote. I dropped that friend a long time ago, but that's been a red flag for me ever since. You push them slightly, and they fall over slowly, revealing they were nothing but a cardboard cutout. They start melting when they get too close to heat sources. Know yourself. I find my physical body reacts to a perceived threat first, even though they appear friendly. I also agree with the other comments, red flag signs. For example, it's normal to have an increased heart rate when initially meeting someone. Maybe nerves, anxiety. But if I've hung out with the person a handful of times and I'm still uncomfortable physically, I'm more inclined to question why that's happening. Oh man. When I met the woman my ex-BF was having an affair with, which I didn't know at the time, the minute our eyes made contact it felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. Immediate adrenaline rush and an overall bad, ominous gut feeling. I remember being so confused as to why I was feeling like that. Sure, she was attractive, but my ex had many attractive friends, but I also have attractive friends. Why would I be feeling like this about a stranger? Etc. But by the end of the day I had forgotten about it, and it would have stayed forgotten had my ex not told me the next day, we're going to go hang out with said woman's place, and my immediate thought was, but we just saw them yesterday. Quote. To this day she is the only person I have ever had such an instant visceral reaction upon meeting. Edit. This is reminding me, since I had moved cross-country to be with my ex, that the first time my ex and I met up after I had moved, just the way he said hello to me made me get this, oh no, oh god, I've made a mistake feeling. To further your point about hanging out with someone and continuously feeling uncomfortable, the uncomfortable, unsettling, something is wrong feeling didn't go away till I met that woman. That visceral reaction was like a ding ding ding, we have a winner, here's the answer moment. When they speak, it's emotionless and almost robotic. Sometimes, you can catch the mid-transformation between human and reptilian. Can't discern street signs in a series of photos. You mean to tell me I've been a fake friend this whole time? This stresses me out because all of a sudden I get too meta. I mean, the pole is technically part of the sign. Do I select the pole? There's grass at the bottom, but I can see some metal, does that count? Maybe I'm just too human. When they tell you to select the boxes with a vehicle in them and you see half a millimeter of car in one box and sit there for 5 minutes debating whether or not to select it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.